Good morning, trading world. Back to y'all, and I missed y'all yesterday. I missed y'all so much I decided to do a video update to kind of cover some things physically that I wasn't able to kind of lead into in pre-market that would have taken place yesterday. Some important signals the market told us yesterday. At the beginning of the week, I talked about the current shift in momentum going on, and yesterday was an important piece in that shift of momentum. If you've ever run a car or a lawnmower when it is running low on gas or about to run out of gas, you realize it doesn't just cut off first. There are some hints with stops and starts first. It may cut off, and then you are able to crank it right back up and continue a while before it bogs down again or cuts off. Now from this point, it may crank up and run briefly a couple times before it just won't run again. The market is trying to tell us it is running out of gas or energy for the current trend over the 4-hour and daily time frame. Also, I do have a sell signal on the 4-hour time frame, but it will take or can take 4 to 6 4-hour periods before it takes effect. Now, there are basically two scenarios to look for if this is indeed the swing high being put in place on the daily and weekly time frames. Now, today could be, but doesn't have to be that day. We could be in for another week or so of this consolidation or range bound kind of wow up and down as we set up or get set for another rollover. Now, up on the chart for today, I'm going to place some very important levels. I'm not doing all of these support and resistance levels because it's going to get too wonky or too busy as it may already be. But I want to focus on some specific levels of what I'm looking for today. I will place all of this, the rest of the support and resistance level in the description below the video, or you can go to the Reddit forum or group, JMJ Investment Club, and you'll be able to get them there. So the first scenario that I'm looking for, this is the current, this blue line is basically the opening of the future session. And it's important to understand that if we open the cash session 9:30 below this level, it gives us a lot of insight on how the day is going to set up. So if we open below this level, it is highly likely that we continue to consolidate at lows of the day down here or anywhere in this area. Because again, the critical area that I have for today is this 57.72 all the way up to 58.22, with the line of demarcation being the 57.97 area. Now this purple line here at 58.15, this is our intraday market makers expected move. This is that line that says everything is normal. We're expected to possibly go up to this area. Anything above it, that's when the market could get crazy. So we open gap down, continue to consolidate at lows of the day until about noon, when we start to ascend. So we could get here all the way at noon, and you should start seeing the market make higher highs and set higher lows. And actually, let's do this right with, instead of looking at my chicken scratch freehand. But at some point around noon, we're going to get here. We're going to get somewhere here and start to consolidate. There's going to be a low set somewhere in this range, and it could actually pierce down into this range. If it does, that is a good clue that today may be the day that we get the swing high set, if we get down into this area. And like I said, from here we should start to notice higher lows and higher highs. And if that continues to take place, without us getting down into this area, there's a good chance that we continue this racket for another week or so. So we would basically just kind of be range bound, basically. Now, off of this, there is an alternate that I want to show you. If we do actually open up and decide to take a decent ride lower and get down into the reversal zone, then this is the scenario where there's a chance that the actual swing high could be set today. And what we're going to look for is we're going to look for those higher lows in this area. But the difference is, once we set those higher lows, is the ascension. If the ascent is rocket-like and we're able to get up here and beyond the intraday market makers expected move, that's my sign that the swing high or new swing high for the daily has been set in place. And this is also a good sign for me to know that it's okay to start setting up some swing shorts at the end of today, if it happens that way. Now, the second scenario is basically us actually coming up and opening positive. If we come up and we open above this line today, especially the early part of the day, we could get some just range bound swing back and forth. And if that happens, that's like the groundhog coming up and seeing its shadow. We're in for another week of this kind of wonky up and down, big shoot up and then back down before we actually take the plunge or that big dive off the springboard that I've been talking about. So this is pretty much telling me don't waste my time trying to set up some swing shorts right now, because we could be into a whole nother week or two of eating theta or your time before we actually take that plunge. That's just my recommendation, and that's also why I started this week right at the FOMC meet. I started buying VIX spreads, because VIX, we could start seeing an increase on the VIX even at this level while the market continues to go up, because we're near, everybody's starting to recognize that we're near a risky zone. So that's why I wanted to start buying the VIX spreads this week, instead of trying to actually get short using the SPY or options directionally on the S&P 500. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, my granddad used to have this saying that common sense isn't so common. Now, the Fed just cut rates by 50 basis points, deciding to jump above the normal 25 basis point cut. Eventually, people are going to start thinking, or the market is going to start thinking and wondering what made the Fed jump so big. And I've said this for a long time. The Fed is usually so far behind, and usually by the time they notice we're in decline, we're always somewhere halfway through that decline. Very soon the market is going to start to come to this realization, and that's when you're going to see that rollover and everybody trying to take profits and jump ship. So I'm just trying to be ahead of that with placing my VIX spreads and being, as close to right on time as possible when I decide to get directional with my SPY options. So I hope this helps. Remember, your most important job as a trader is to protect the capital you already have. You do this by knowing and understanding the risks you face in each position and in current market conditions. We manage that risk in accordance with our account size. Again, I hope this helps. Wishing you a positive trading day. Let's get out and make it a great one.